today. And what is that concept? So today we'll talk about depreciation. And depreciation is also, so we'll talk about the basics of depreciation. So depreciation is an important element when it comes to accounting. Now, before I get started, I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Akhil. I am chartered accountant with more than 17 years of working experience, and I worked across the length and breadth of different organizations, managing their finance and accounting verticals. Now, when I started my career, I was doing hardcore accounting, and then I kind of graduated to some of the more niche roles, like, for example, financial planning and analysis and financial due diligence. So that's been my background. And yes, I've been in the academics journey as well. I'm a passionate educator. I've been teaching students for about 8, 9 years on different courses. So that's a brief about me. Let's get straight into the topic for today, which is depreciation. Now, what we will do as part of this session, we'll understand the concept of depreciation, but while doing that, we'll talk about specific elements. So first will be, we'll decipher, we'll decode, we'll interpret what depreciation means. We'll get into the methods of depreciation. And then finally, we look at the accounting entry and treatment of depreciation in financial statements. Now, the good part of every session with Edulite is that it is divided into three parts. So there will be an element wherein we talk about the theoretical concept, because the foundation for accounting rests on the pillar of having a good conceptual understanding. So we'll understand the concept well. We look at how companies practically apply that concept. That will be the second element that we generally cover as part of all our sessions. And finally, we will also get into some Q&A, so that before we end the class for today, you're pretty much clear about the topic. So I'll have a few questions. I'll give those to you. You'll answer, and then obviously we'll discuss them in the class. Obviously, this is an open interactive session. It's a live class, not a recorded class. So you can ask as many questions as you want. You can put them on chat, or if you want to speak up, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Yeah. So let's get started. Now, what is depreciation? Now, depreciation is the decrease in the value of asset due to wear and tear over a period of time. Now, that's the bookish definition of depreciation. There will be decrease in value. It will be because of wear and tear and over a period of time. Now, some elements might be simple to understand, but some elements like over a period of time. What does over a period of time mean? So we'll get some of these understandings now. Now, when we talk about depreciation, the first element that you need to keep in mind is that whenever there is a fixed asset with a company and the company is using that asset for its business, like for example, if I have plant and machinery and I'm manufacturing goods and services, so whenever I start using plant and machinery, it will wear and tear. Now, whenever an asset, a fixed asset wears and tears, it reduces in value, and that reduction in value is what we will refer to as depreciation. So depreciation is a reduction in the value of the fixed asset. Now, there is no concept of depreciation for current asset. It is only for fixed assets, or we also refer to them as non-current assets. So first is reduction in value of the asset on account of wear and tear. So because you continuously use it, the machine will kind of wear out, it will tear out, and then over a period of time, it will reduce in value. Now, let's take a personal example also. So today, if you were to buy a car, the moment you bring the car out of the showroom, the value of the car drops because you start using it. It is no longer new. There is some wear and tear happens. Obviously, the wear and tear will increase as the number of kilometers that you drive will increase. Now, there is a life of the asset. The generally a car again will be about 12 to 15 years depending on which kind of car it is. The other element you'll have to keep in mind is depending on your usage, the useful life of the asset may slightly be higher or may slightly be lower. So if it is rough use with less maintenance, obviously the useful life will go down. But if it is properly maintained, serviced on time, then if the car is to run for 15 years, it might just run for about 17, 18, or even 20 years. So that's the concept of useful economic life of the asset. So every fixed asset will have a useful economic life, and this is an element that is based on estimate. Now, there is no rule, there is no checklist available that this machinery has this much life. It will vary from country to country, it may vary from industry to industry, it may vary from usage to usage as well. Now, let's say there is a company which is using a plant and machinery. There are two companies which are using a similar plant and machinery. One is using it for 8 hours, the other is using for 16 hours. So obviously, the company which is using it for 16 hours, will have a lesser economic life, whereas a company which is using for 8 hours will have a relatively higher useful life. So it depends on usage as well. So that's the concept of useful economic life. Now, why is this element important? We'll refer to that in the example that we will talk about in about a few minutes from now. Now, two other things about depreciation. Depreciation is a charge against profit and loss account. So when you prepare your profit and loss account, depreciation is an expense. It is debited in your profit and loss account, and anything which is debited to your profit and loss account as an expense is a charge against your profit. So it's a non-cash item. It's an operating expense. It is related to your operations of the company, but it is an annual charge against profit and loss account. Now, when I say annual charge, we're basically talking about depreciation that will accumulate over a period of 12 months every year, depending on the useful life. So when you, from an accounting point of view, when you record the accounting entry, you will record the accounting entry once every month at a bare minimum. That's the concept relating to accounting for depreciation, right? So keep these five elements in mind: reduction in the value of the asset, wear and tear, it will an operating expense, annual charge against profit and loss account, and amount of depreciation charge will depend upon the useful economic life of the asset. So that's pretty much on the basic concept of depreciation, the bookish concept of depreciation. Now, depending on where you are registered as a company, where you are headquartered as a company, you might be preparing your books of accounts using different accounting standards. So let's say you might be using Indian accounting standard, which is referred to as Ind AS. You might be referring to US GAAP, and you might be referring to, let's say, IFRS. So IFRS is the International Financial Reporting Standards, on which all companies are converging to. So after a few years, all companies will prepare the books accounts using IFRS. So depending on which accounting standard you're using, there are accounting standards available. Like for example, International Accounting Standard 16, that talks about depreciation. So accounting standards lay down the broad rules, the guidelines, the accounting treatment for how fixed assets should be accounted for and how relevant depreciation should be taken care of. So that's the concept of depreciation. Any questions anyone has at this point in time? And I'll keep anticipating some questions on your behalf, because given our interaction with so many students, we know where students can have a question. So we'll try and answer some of these questions on your behalf, but you still have other questions, feel free to kind of put them on chat, right? Okay, let's move on to the next concept relating to depreciation. Okay, now let's look at an example here. Now there are two general methods that we use when we talk about depreciation. So one is referred to as the straight line method, and the other is referred to as the written down value method, or the WDV. So you might be hearing these jargons: SLM, which is straight line method, WDV, which is written down value method. Now, when you, let's take an example here. So cost of the asset. So I've purchased a new plant and machinery worth, let's say, 10 lakhs. And the useful economic life of the asset, I've assumed that it will be 5 years. Now that is the general life for which the asset is used, let's say by other companies also in the industry, or even the manufacturer who's manufacturing this plant and machinery tells me that you can use this asset for a period of 5 years. So I've taken economic life as 5 years. Now, if you have to calculate depreciation using straight line method, it's a very simple formula. You have the total cost of the asset and you divide that by the number of years. Number of years is nothing but your useful economic life, which in our case is 5. So 10 lakhs divided by 5. So that will be your depreciation for the year, which will be 2 lakhs. So every year for this particular plant and machinery, if you have to record an accounting entry in your books of accounts, it will be amounting to 2 lakhs. So year one, I'll record an entry for 2 lakhs. Year two, I'll record an entry for 2 lakhs. And after year five, I would have recorded depreciation entries amounting to 10 lakhs. So 2 lakhs every year for 5 years, it will amount to 10 lakhs. Now this tells you another element about fixed assets. After the useful economic life of the asset, when you've charged 100% depreciation on that particular asset. So depreciation is charged on every individual asset. So there is an asset, individual asset, and then there is a class of assets. So we will cover some of these deeper concepts when we talk about fixed assets. But for now, just keep in mind that every year you charge X amount of depreciation per asset, and multiplied by the number of years. So after the useful life of the asset, depreciation will be equal to the original value of the fixed asset. So after 5 years, fixed asset will be zero in terms of their book value, and everything else would have transferred to your depreciation account, which is accumulated depreciation. right? So in this case, you're looking at 2 lakhs of depreciation per year. Now, what will be the accounting entry? Now, you don't have to remember the golden rules of accounting every time you want to make an accounting entry. Let's understand it very simply. Now, depreciation is an expense. Expenses are always debited to your profit and loss account. So my first part to my entry will be depreciation account debit for 2 lakhs. Where did we get the 2 lakhs from? We've just calculated 2 lakhs using our formula for depreciation. So I've got my debit. Now, every time you charge depreciation, you will always charge it to the corresponding asset. So if it is for plant and machinery, that's the asset. If it's for furniture and fixture, that is the asset. If it is vehicles, that's the asset. And remember what I said to you at the beginning of this session, depreciation is a reduction in the value of the asset. Now, very logically, you're all commerce students or accounting students. Now, every fixed asset has a debit balance. And when you charge depreciation, you're basically reducing the value of that asset. Now, for you to reduce the value of the asset, any fixed asset, any non-current asset will have to be credited. So that becomes my second leg of the accounting entry, which will be my asset account. Now, this could be plant and machinery. This could be furniture and fixtures. This could be vehicles. It could be any other non-current asset that the company has. So my accounting entry is depreciation account debit to asset account amounting to 2 lakh for every year. Now this is the accounting entry in year one. Straight line method of depreciation is very simple. You just need to calculate the amount of depreciation, and depending on the useful life, you have to record the same entry every year. So year one depreciation to asset account 2 lakhs, year two depreciation to asset account 2 lakhs, and that will be the standard entry that you will do for the next 5 years. So are we all clear about straight line method of depreciation? Very simple method. Obviously, you need to know the economic life of the asset. You need to know the cost of the asset, and there you are. You have the amount, record the entry, and that's done. Now, okay. Now let's look at the next method of depreciation, which is called as the written down value method. Now remember, when you talk about SLM or straight line method, fixed charge of depreciation, same amount of depreciation will be charged every year up to the useful life of the asset. So 2 lakhs for 5 years every year, 2 lakhs every year for 5 years, right? Okay. Now written down value method is, let's look at the example first and then I'll explain some of these elements to you. Again, my cost of the asset is 10 lakhs. Now, instead of the number of years here, in a written down value method, you will be given the rate of depreciation. Now, your laws of accounting will specify how much is the rate of depreciation if you want to use WDV. So they will specify class of assets, different sub assets within a class, that okay, this asset could have depreciation amounting to this much percentage. So in this case, we've taken the example of 20%. So depreciation, calculating depreciation in this case is value of the asset, which will be 10 lakhs multiplied by the rate of depreciation. So value of the asset I've been given as 10 lakhs. Rate of depreciation I've given as 20%. So if in year one, the amount of depreciation that you will charge to your books of accounts as a charge against your profit and loss will be 2 lakhs. Now under written down value method, remember this word written down value. So every year after you charge your depreciation, you have to calculate how much is the value of the asset which is left. So after year one, my value of the asset will be 10 lakhs, which was my original cost of the asset, minus depreciation, which is 2 lakhs. So at the end of the year, if your year is January to December, as on 31st March, the value of the asset, which is also referred to as the net book value of the asset, will be 8 lakhs. So 10 lakhs my original cost, 2 lakhs is my depreciation for the year under WDV method, and the value remaining is 8 lakhs. Are we clear so far? So up to this point, SLM and WDV are giving me the same results. 10 lakh is my cost of asset in both the methods. 2 lakhs is the depreciation in both the methods. And the value that will remain after depreciation at the end of 31st December will be 8 lakhs in both the methods. Now in SLM, I said every year you will charge 2 lakhs up to period of 5 years. So after the end of 5 years, accumulated depreciation will be 10 lakhs and the value of the asset will be 0. But in WDV, it is slightly different. Now you've calculated your written down value, which is your 8 lakhs. Gross book value minus depreciation is equal to 8 lakhs. Now in year 2, you will charge depreciation of 20% on 8 lakhs, which is 1,60,000. So my depreciation charge for year 2 under WDV method will be 1,60,000. So if you have to calculate the value of the asset as at the end of the second year, which is 31st December, let's say 2022, it will be 8 lakhs, which is my book value, opening book value, minus 1,60,000, which is the depreciation. And that will give you your book value, net book value as 6,40,000. Now the net book value under WDV method after year 2 is 6,40,000. But if you look at the net book value under SLM, it will be 6 lakhs because you're charging 2 lakhs every year. So 10 lakh minus 2 lakh is equal to 8, 8 minus 2 is equal to 6, 6 minus 2 is equal to 4, so on and so forth till you get down to 0. In under WDV, 10 lakh minus 2 lakh is 8 lakhs, 8 lakhs minus 1.6 will be 640. 6,40,000, and then you will calculate 20% depreciation for year 3. Now, what do we notice here? In SLM, depreciation expense is same every year. In WDV, it is higher in the initial years and lower in the later years. In the WDV method, your net book value of the asset will be relatively lower as compared to straight line method. Why? Because in WDV, higher depreciation is being calculated at the start and lower depreciation is being calculated towards the end. In fact, I'll just kind of revalidate that in written down value method. And I'm sorry for that. Written down value method, your value of the asset will be higher because of lower depreciation and vice versa in straight line method. So just keep that in mind. Don't get confused like I got confused. Written down value method, higher book value of the asset initially as compared to the straight line value method. Right? And if you want, I can substantiate that. 10 lakhs starting point, 8 lakhs after year 1. Under WDV, it will be 6,40,000, and under straight line, it will be 6 lakhs. So the net book value of the asset under WDV is higher by 40,000 as compared to straight line method. Now, when it comes to accounting entry, the accounting entry will be similar. Depreciation is an expense account, so expenses are debited, and the credit will be, because you're reducing the value of the asset, it will be an asset account. Plant and machinery, furniture, fixtures, vehicles, whatever that non-current asset is. Are we all clear? Any questions anyone has? And obviously you will have a recorded copy of this video as well, so you can listen in if you have any further question. And again, as we proceed, I'll also kind of take some objective questions for you to better your understanding. But are we clear on the two methods, straight line method and WDV? Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, so we've already looked at the entry for depreciation. So depreciation account is debited to your profit and loss account because it's an expense. All expenses and incomes go to my profit and loss account. And depreciation is a reduction in the value of the asset. Now, because all assets have a debit balance, if I have to reduce their value, I will have to credit them. So depreciation account debit to asset account, and asset account obviously goes to your balance sheet. Now, many a times you will also see the accounting entry for depreciation as depreciation account debit to accumulated depreciation. So accumulated depreciation means every year, whatever depreciation you're charging to your profit and loss account, you accumulate that in the accumulated depreciation account. Now, how does that reflect in your financial statements? Let us look at a quick example here. Now, if you prepare your profit and loss account, obviously you will have your gross profit, which you will bring forward because the gross profit is obviously the upper part of your profit and loss account, the profit and loss account, and then we talk the trading account, and then we talk about the profit and loss account. So obviously gross profit brought forward, it will be X amount to depreciation because depreciation is debited to profit and loss account. And if you look at that, this is the only entry in your profit and loss account, so the remaining amount will be your net profit. So gross profit minus depreciation will give you your net profit. That's how depreciation is reflected in your profit and loss account. Now, if you look at your balance sheet, again, liabilities and assets. So that's the classification. Under assets, you have non-current assets and you have current assets. For us, we are currently talking about non-current assets because they are being used for more than 12 months. They use for multiple years. So that is why non-current assets. Now, how do we present this information in our balance sheet? So you have your gross book value of the asset. Now, gross book value of the asset will be the cost at which you purchase the asset. So if I go back to my previous slide here, the cost of the asset that I purchased was 10 lakhs. So if you go to the balance sheet, your gross book value will be 10 lakhs. What was my accumulated depreciation for year one? So I recorded an expense of 2 lakhs, straight line method or WDV. The amount was same in year one. It was 2 lakhs. So again, 2 lakhs is my accumulated depreciation. My net book value of the asset is 10 lakhs minus 2 lakhs is equal to 8 lakhs. So that is how we depict it in the balance sheet. Now, if this balance sheet was being prepared for year two, what will happen? Your gross book value of the asset will still be 10 lakhs because that price will never change. That's the price I paid to buy the asset. Now, my accumulated depreciation will become 2 lakhs for year one and 1 lakh 60,000, which is the amount that I calculated here. So 2 lakhs for year one, 1 lakh 60,000 for year two. So my total accumulated depreciation here will become 3 lakh 60,000. So 10 lakhs is my gross book value. 3 lakh 60,000 is my accumulated depreciation. So my net book value of the asset after year two will be 6 lakh 40,000. So every year you keep charging depreciation, you keep putting it to accumulated depreciation, gross book value remains the same. So gross book value minus total accumulated depreciation will give you your net book value of the asset. So don't get confused here. The amount that you will charge every year to your profit and loss account will be 2 lakhs, 1 lakh 60,000. The amount for every year that will go to your balance sheet under the head accumulated depreciation will be a sum total of the depreciation of every year. Are we all clear on this? Okay, perfect. Now, if you've understood the concept of depreciation, if you've understood the example of straight line method and written down value method, and if you've understood the accounting treatment for depreciation, including the treatment in financial statements, then I guess you're ready for the question and answers. Now, different industries will look at depreciation differently. So again, they will have written down value of straight line method basis, and they are free to adopt what they think is more relevant to their industry. Now, companies can also make changes to their method of depreciation, but when they make a change, they need to have a proper reason for it, a justification for it. And then when they make this change, they also need to reflect that in your notes to accounts. What is the reason for changing and what is the impact because of that change? So all of this, obviously, we will cover in more detail when we talk about fixed assets, right? But okay, with whatever we've understood so far, let's try and answer a few questions here. So I'll read out the questions to you and just try and answer them. You don't have to tell me, write it down. And towards the end, once you're done with all the 4 questions, I will discuss them. Right? Okay, first question for all of you. Depreciation is a charge against the profit and loss of the company. Is this statement true or false? So very simple. You just need to tell me whether this is true or false. Depreciation is a charge against the profit and loss of the company. Okay, if you're done with question number 1, let's move on to question number 2. Now, question number 2 is a fill in the blank. The dash. So dash is where you need to fill in the blank. The dash method of depreciation will result in a lower amount of depreciation to be charged to the profit and loss account in the later part of the asset's life. The dash method of depreciation will result in a lower amount of depreciation to be charged in the profit and loss account in the later part of the asset's life. So it'll have to be either straight line method or WDV, because those are the two methods of depreciation that we've discussed today. Okay, so if you're done with question number 2, let's go to question number 3. Accumulated depreciation is shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. Remember, I showed you the profit and loss account and the balance sheet. So just reflect what you saw. Accumulated depreciation is shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. Is this statement true or false? Simple question. Again, just to kind of check your conceptual understanding, because if these concepts are right, irrespective of whatever level of CA you are in, when you're looking at your financial statements or accounting entry, depreciation and related concepts will become a cakewalk for you. Okay, are we done with question number 3? Okay, let's go to question number 4. Net book value of the asset. Now, this is where I think I got confused when I was talking about it, but then we later rectified it with the example that I took. So, net book value of the asset. Listen to the question very carefully. Net book value of the asset will be lower than the gross book value of the asset. Is this statement true or false? So, we looked at net book value of gross book value of the asset minus accumulated depreciation is equal to net book value of the asset. So, just keep that example in mind. Now think about the statement. Net book value of the asset will be lower than gross book value of the asset. Is this statement true or false? Simple question. You're almost there. Question number 4 is done. Now let's move on to the last question. Depreciation is a dash expense. So this is a fill in the blank. Depreciation is a dash expense. Remember the characteristics of depreciation that I spoke to you about. Recollect those and you will be able to answer this question. Depreciation is a dash expense. Okay, so all of you have completed the quiz. Let's try and look at what are the answers, the correct answers. So depreciation is a charge against the profit and loss account of the company. This statement is absolutely true. It's an expense, all expenses are debited, and obviously depreciation is a charge against my profit and loss account. The second element, the dash method of depreciation will result in a lower amount of depreciation to be charged to the profit and loss account in the later part of the asset's life. And the right answer will be written down value method or WDV method. Straight line method is similar depreciation every year. But when you compare it with the WDV method, initially in WDV, the expenditure will be higher, depreciation will be higher. But as you kind of go down, the depreciation, relative depreciation amount under WDV will be lower as compared to straight line method. And we've proven that with the example that we took. So first 2 years depreciation in SLM was 4 lakhs. First 2 years depreciation in the WDV method was 3,60,000. Absolutely right. Accumulated depreciation is shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. This statement is false because accumulated depreciation is shown as a reduction from my gross book value of the asset. Remember this slide that we had. So this is where accumulated depreciation is shown. It is not being shown on the liability side. It is being shown as a reduction from your gross book value. So 10 lakhs minus 2 lakhs becomes 8 lakhs. Some students will say accumulated depreciation because it's a expense and it's a liability, it should come on the liability side. No, but we depict it as a reduction from your gross book value of the asset. Okay, and the question number 4, net book value of the asset will be lower than gross book value of the asset. This statement is true. So net book value of the asset will always be lower because gross book value of the asset is the amount that you pay to purchase the asset. When you reduce the depreciation from it, either for year 1 or accumulated depreciation, you will get to your net book value of the asset, which will be lower. So 8 lakhs is lower than 10 lakhs. 8 lakhs is the net book value, 10 lakhs is the gross book value, and that is why this question is true. Net book value of the asset will be lower than the gross book value of the asset. And finally, depreciation is an operating expense. If you go back to this slide, depreciation is an operating expense. So the good part is we give you everything from concept to application to quizzes so that this becomes your good reference point before your examination. So if you read these slides, if you listen to the recorded sessions, you obviously make notes in your class and do some of these quiz questions, then the concept will be clear to you. It will be easy and faster for you to revise, and obviously everything will come together. And at the end of the session, we also have a summary for you. So we've looked at what is the concept of depreciation. It's a reduction in value on account of wear and tear over the useful life of the asset. It's an operating expense, and obviously it is charged to my profit and loss account. We understood the different methods to calculate depreciation, straight line method and WDV, and obviously you will not get confused in either of them now because we've looked at an example and discussed it accordingly. We've looked at the accounting entries also. So accounting entry for depreciation could be depreciation account debit to asset, or it could be depreciation account to accumulated depreciation. And when you go to your balance sheet, accumulated depreciation is reduced from the gross book value of the asset. So that's the accounting for depreciation, and obviously expenses go to your profit and loss account, and the remaining part goes to your balance sheet. And we've also looked at how we depict it. So if you look at it, the inner column, you will look at your gross book value and the depreciation, accumulated depreciation, and the outer column, you will reflect 8 lakhs. So that's the overall concept of depreciation that we have. Now, in a foundation level exam, the questions will be relatively simple. You will have to calculate depreciation. You will be given, let's say, amount. You will have to calculate the missing element. So that's where we are. But when you move on to the next levels, because you start getting financial statements, so that is where students will have to look at the interlinkage between different components. So if my fixed asset is going higher, my depreciation expense should also go higher. That's a common logic they will have. If my fixed assets are going down, my depreciation account balance should also go down or will be relatively less. Fixed assets should have a debit balance, but if there is a credit balance, that is what you need to investigate. Now, higher the depreciation, lower will be my profit, because depreciation is an expense going to your operating expense going to your profit and loss account. So the more expenses we have, the lower profits we will have. Now, sometimes when you look at your net profit and net profit is going down year to year, one of the reasons could be that depreciation is higher. Again, there could be other reasons as well, but because we're currently focusing on depreciation as a concept, that could also be the reason why net profit is going down. Depreciation is a non-cash expense. You're not incurring a physical expense per se. All you're doing is you're creating an accounting entry, you're creating a provision, you're creating a reserve, so that tomorrow when your asset goes down to zero, you have accumulated that much funds to be able to purchase a new asset. So that is why we say it is a charge against your profit and loss account, right? So just keep these elements in mind, and you concepts relating to depreciation will always be clear to you. And again, because every balance sheet will have fixed assets, or I will say generally balance sheets will have fixed assets, so generally profit and loss accounts will have depreciation. And if you have depreciation, keep these elements in mind that we've just discussed. So any questions anyone has, I'm happy to take those questions, or if not, this is what we wanted to cover as the second accounting concept. And obviously, in our next series, we'll keep talking about more concepts. Edulite offers live classes, and again, we have different tutors for different subjects. All of them are chartered accountants. They work with industries in different profiles, have their experience both in terms of clearing exams, understanding the concept, and also practical application of it. So these are three elements that you get with Edulite when you enroll for our classes. Now, while I'm teaching, the seats for the live classes are getting filled up. So if you really serious about pursuing CA and you want to do kind of CA in the first attempt, or CA with less difficulties, then this is where you need to come to. You can talk to your uh, the Edulite person who's in touch with you. They'll be happy to take your questions, answer those, and obviously I'm sure you found this session valuable. If you have any feedback for us, do leave it with us. And we'll love to see you in our live classes starting soon. So please enroll, and thank you for coming in. All the very best. Accounting is not difficult, provided your concepts are clear, provided you understand how to apply them. And obviously, if that is there, then foundation to inter to final, the journey becomes relatively easier, right? So all the best. Thank you for coming in, and I'll see you soon in the next session. So thank you so much. Take care and stay safe.